are they going to do about the deficit? Also Medicare?
What they're going to do with the about the problem in Iran, you know, with them building up the nuclear, you know, capabilities.
Just sampling some of the few voters from Long Island telling us the topics they want to hear from Mitt Romney and the president tonight. They won't be the ones asking the questions, but it will be people like them, Long Islanders that fit the demo of being undecided, that will be posing questions previously submitted in a town hall style format at Hofstra University. Okay. I'm going to bring in what I believe are some of the questions, and you guys jump in as to issues. Again, tonight's the last night they can get into domestic issues. Foreign policy will be on the table, but domestic issues, I think, from everything I hear, are going to get worked in the answers, whether they're asked or not here. So, jobs certainly. I'll give one, though, because this one I've heard from every single surrogate on the Obama side that they're going to be talking about, whether they like it or not. The subject is abortion, and one thing they'll hit on is where Mitt Romney's position has been before, during, and even now during the campaign. Take a listen.
I believe that abortion should be safe and legal in this country.
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose, and am devoted and dedicated to honoring my word in that regard.
I have always opposed abortion. Do I believe Supreme Court should overturn Roe v. Wade? Yes.
Planned Parenthood, we're going to get rid of that.
Okay. Mitt Romney's had an evolving position, and his position with restrictions where he'd like to see Roe v. Wade overturned, that doesn't even go as far as at least what Paul Ryan had said previously, which was that basically a conception is life and you have to protect it without exceptions. It's going to come up. If you're Mitt Romney, do you just acknowledge, yeah, I've changed my positions a lot over the years, but this is where I am? Or do you try and say I've been consistent with this the whole time?
No, obviously it's reality. He has changed, and he's got to justify why he had a new awakening, and it can't be just politics. So it's an issue that he has to deal with. But
is
you know
it connected with a personal story, you think?
Well, I think that could work, but I think the big issue here is that not a lot of people are going to use that as a litmus test to vote for the president. There are some people, a very small number, that will do that, but it's the economy.
See,
it's the economy.
I promise we'll get the economy. But my sense is, guys, listen, the four of us at this table, we've been following this stuff for the better part of a year.
Social issues are not going to be dominant in this race.
I so disagree with you. I think for a generation of women in this country, that is one of those issues that is a human rights issue for them. It's control over their body and their reproductive rights.
They want a job.
What the Romney campaign is suggesting.
They got kids coming back home.
What the Romney campaign is suggesting. They got kids that get out of school with an education, can't get a job. Time where women have to go across state lines to get an abortion. That's what they're suggesting going back to, Congressmember. And every thinking American has to stand up. Every thinking American has to stand up.
I think you made a very good point. This has got to go back to the states.
It's just bad policy.
I think the public, Dom, we make the mistake that they say, well, I don't care. I don't think they know.
They don't.
I don't think until they hear it come up tonight that they'll see. Listen, the one thing Obama did right through this is he made this a choice election, not a referendum election on him. For good or for bad, if he loses, at least he got that thing right from a campaign strategy standpoint. From a choice decision, there's a clear choice difference between the two. And unless he has another, Denver fiasco, he's going to paint that in distinct terms and put it on Romney to make the differential, right?
You're talking about school choice?
I'm talking about the choice issue as it relates to reproductive rights.
There will be no more Denvers tonight. The president is going to deal with abortion head on. His presidency depends on it.
And don't you think Romney's prepared to answer that question?
No.
Oh, come on.
Here's what Romney's going to do. He's going to say, I've changed my position on choice, but the president has changed his position on gay marriage. He's going to try and throw it right back on the president.
He might do that.
And if the president is smart, he will say, fine, let's stick on abortion. If he points out abortion, this race can tilt back Obama's way. If he doesn't, it's over for the president.
Now, the other issue that to me has always been a mystery, of all the mysteries of Denver, the biggest one was how come for 90 minutes, the president never uttered the number 47%. It's in his ads, it's everywhere else. And to remind anybody that unless you've been sleeping under a rock, This is what Mitt Romney said in a surreptitiously recorded fundraiser that he was doing. Take a look. This is in a condensed version what Mitt Romney had to say in ad form that many of you have already seen.
I will keep America strong and get America's middle class working again. The people who are having the hard time right now are middle-income Americans.
The 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they're victims. And so my job is not to worry about those people. I'll never convince them that they should take personal responsibility and care for their lives.
Democrats overplay that. And that's why you didn't see it come up. They overplayed it.
No,
every ad, the negative ads.
It didn't come up because the president is afraid if he brings it up that Mr. Romney might bring up Reverend Wright. That's why it didn't come up.
What the heck does one have to do with
because President Obama was caught making comments on camera that recently surfaced. So if you bring up Romney's off-camera comments, then he's certainly going to go at you on Reverend Wright.
And Romney had a good response. He was inelegant when he articulated that.
The president didn't bring it up because he missed it, and the fact is it's a huge, another one of those vulnerable points that
Joe
is going to get
4 minutes to get
is going to get banged on tonight. There's no way to defend the comment. 47% of Americans think they're victims.
If the question doesn't get asked,
think they're victims.
If Obama's going like this, under the lectern saying, please, somebody, in your question, say 47%, so I don't have to bring it up. But if it doesn't get brought up,
answered.
He'll get it.
If it doesn't get asked, it gets answered. It's part of every one of his potential
answers. He didn't say that 47% of the people don't count in America.
No, what he said was
they don't pay
themselves
taxes.
Victims. Consider themselves victims.
You cannot say that 40
themselves victims.
He said it inelegantly. He
What
admitted
elegant?
it.
So why did he apologize?
Consider themselves victims.
Why did he apologize if he didn't say anything wrong?
No,
Mr.
he said his words were inelegant, and they were. He admitted it.
To me, one of the greatest
and for the Democrats to jump
in
on it
recent
was a
campaign
bad
history
strategy.
is to not be able to articulate repeatedly in every market, in every hour, you are the 47%, and just use that tape was a mystery to me. But we'll see if it comes up tonight. Now, this next one, I think, is probably the biggest vulnerability for the president tonight, and it has everything to do with Benghazi. If any of you missed it, earlier today, you saw Secretary of State Hillary Clinton falling on the proverbial sword here as the State Department, as she said, the buck stopped with her. Take a listen.
I take responsibility. I'm in charge of the State Department, 60,000 plus people all over the world, 275 posts. The president and the vice president certainly wouldn't be knowledgeable about specific decisions that are made by security professionals.
Okay, good soldier there, Scott, but I don't think that satisfies it for anybody. I don't even think the family members of the late ambassador asking them to keep it out of the political realm will keep it out of tonight. And I think it's a legitimate question as to the administration's handling of this tragedy in Libya. How possibly can the president satisfy the audience tonight that he gets it, he's on top of it, and it was a mistake or wasn't on his part? How does he articulate?
I mean, you take the hit. I mean, Benghazi was a failing of the administration, and the secretary said it quite clearly. And at the same time, the president's term got us out of Iraq, scheduled to be out of Afghanistan when the opponents are saying they're hedging on that, and we took out Osama bin Laden. I'm thinking that's a pretty good
foreign policy. If somebody alleges cover-up, does he get angry?
Well, there's no cover-up with the secretary saying, I take responsibility.
10 days later?
I'm sorry, is that not
10 days later.
What was the appropriate
Listen,
timetable
the
for
act
to do that?
was bad enough, but to cover up the act.
Well, I mean, 10 days is not a
cover-up.
There
were YouTube videos of his body being dragged into the streets.
8 months. That's a cover-up. You're talking 10 days.
Well, I'm saying that you should right away understand this was a big mistake. National security is a big issue in this country, and to have an ambassador and 3 Americans killed hasn't happened in, 40 years?
Absolutely. Out of Iraq, out of Afghanistan,
so what are they trying to cover up?
But wait, it was a mistake.
But nobody that's been close to it.
The cover-up's always worse than the act.
Yeah, but but we're making a leap that there was a cover-up. I don't think it's been handled well, but the implication that people knew information, were trying to deceive the American public.
There was some manipulation. You know that. As soon as they came out with it, they started to waffle on the words, and it took over a week for the Secretary of State, his administration, to say
well, I
we
certainly
made
think
a
it's going to be a
mistake.
problem for the president tonight here. It'll be very interesting to see how he handles it. All right, keep this conversation going online, Facebook, Twitter, and what question would you ask if you were one of those lucky few, or depending if you get nervous, maybe you want somebody else asking a question, but what question would you want asked tonight with the nation watching? When we come back, we're going to focus on what Dominic has always said is going to be as, if not more important than the substance, and that is the style. We just went over here with the meat and potatoes, what we'll hear tonight, but as you know, town hall debates here determined by those moments that are unscripted, those moments that, you can see the campaign handlers burying their hands in their faces as they happen here, that will go to define this debate for basically perpetuity. We're going to get into all the style issues when we come back. Stay with us.
But I really want to hear a substantive solution for how they're going to address the problem and not only curb the debt, but put us on a sustainable solution for the future.
I just want to know what they're going to do in the next 4 years to help for the people like me who are trying to get jobs.